Hello and welcome, and this will not be technical analysis, and rather, I just finished watching parts of a video, and I hear so much on the community about this whole HODL thing, as they like to call it, hold on for dear life or whatever, yada yada yada, and stuff in that you just buy and I suppose you hold. And in theory, if you're actually gonna buy at these prices and Bitcoin prices become big, well past their 20,000 highs, Litecoin goes well into four digits and you sell, then you're getting good returns, but man, it's just good. And I'll even hear people about talking about hodling multiple coins, and that's it. And that's where it gets confusing. That's where it gets very, very confusing. For why wouldn't you trade them back and forth against each other? And I wanted to write this down, just quoting what I just wrote this really quickly. You can play the trading game, but you're going to lose your shirt. You're playing against sharks and you're playing against people who are out for blood and do this for a living. So do you want to be one of those guys, or do you want to put your money in and let it ride and be patient? See, and it's good to know that yeah, there's a good chance that if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose. So it's probably a good idea to figure out what you're doing. Figure out how to play the game. The math is real, the math is simple. The math was taught to me when I was about 13 years old, at least the generalities for this. In fact, I have to think that when I was entering high school, let alone grade 7, grade 8, that the concept towards a buy low, sell high is really phenomenal. And I'm going to play this game really, really fast. There's a lot of days. This is Mona and DGB. There's about 1,600 days. I'm using small basic to play it. It's a free software. And if you import it, I'm going to publish this link. And I've added one small new feature to it. CQJ545. The feature is it's automatically going to jump to the move that I'm looking for. So if you look in the code in here, you might have to edit this for your personality if you want to use what will be the number 6 option. I got 1.75. I'm looking for 75% moves or 57.1% moves down, meaning after a trade, I need the market to go up or down that much before making a trade. And I'm using these big numbers to show how simple it is to make a lot of gain amongst these coins. And that, I mean, you don't have to do much work to do it. You're hardly going to be making many trades at all, but we'll see. So what I'll do is I'll wait for a first significant move to get it started. For on day one, 477 and a half coins, or ratio. Owning 100 of Mona, 47,750 for DGB. So they relatively work out to about the same. On one day, you see it goes down like 18%. So we'll get in the game on one day. Maybe we'll just sell something small, but the sell numbers will get much bigger if I'm playing for larger moves. So to start, I'm just going to make a quick trade, and I got number 6, which is auto. See, I could normally go 5, go to a lowest or highest price, but 6 will automatically do the move from that 389 trade, and it jumps me to day number 26. So in real life, when something like this happens, you just move your coins, make whatever trades you need to do, and then go about your day. And in this exercise, I'm just going to ramble on about a whole bunch of different stuff because it's a way of killing time Well, I get to the end move. I'll talk about a few things, like what happens if your ratio goes from 1200 to 400 and below. It's like, oh, I can make an aggressive trade. I own over 100,000 of whatever coin. Can I safely sell 75,000? Sure, why the heck not? Oh, the next day it goes up 82%. Can I buy a bunch of those back? Well, hell yeah. You sold 75,000 of them. Go ahead and buy like 95,000 of them. It's going to cost only a fraction of what it was before. Just a huge, huge move. And just keep on playing this. You could be on your 114th day. You're like, oh, ratios went from 700 to 1300. Let's just unload like 38 of these, pick up a few moves, and maybe wait about 2 months for the ratio to double again, and we'll unload 28. Okay, that'll work. And then wait another 63 days, 2 more months, see the ratio get cut in half. Okay, I got 240,000. Let's and then you just part ways with them. And the math to this game works. Long term, you're just playing the mathematics. For if something keeps on going from worth, well, just the more you test from it, the more you work with it, the more you understand it, and the better you'll become at different particulars like how much you sell, how often, how much you choose for your volatility, and those sorts of measures. And in doing this, this gives you experience with games like this to be able to play and have these moves again where you see this is the second time we've seen like a 3x overall move where I could unload well more than half of what I own and just start raking it in. I could even just the next day say, oh, it's down 30%. Let's go for another 9,000 more or so. And then just keep on playing the game because it's that. It's a game. Understand that this is a game. Understand what different measures you can use so that you can be very successful at this game. See what mistakes you make. How do you eliminate those mistakes? How so that they don't happen again? How many different amazing things did you do pretty well that you could have done better? And then implement those in towards your game. And that's what's really going to help in getting like really good optimal results because in the game of gambling there's a thing called advantage players, those that look for an edge. James Holzhauer was a recent Jeopardy champion that looks for an edge upon, well, before in the sports gambling field playing poker. Poker's a huge advantage game, but this game in cryptos most certainly is that of an extreme advantage one. And there's multiple ways in finding this. I'm only going one that I don't know if any. This is something that came through my thinking and through just I didn't no one told me about this. I figured this on my own and I'm teaching as many people who want to learn how to do this type of stuff. And thus just really crush it overall as far as your results as winning the game because when you play games whatever whether it's a video game like you play like the Super Mario Brothers, just doing amazing at it, playing any type of card game, when you have skills and advantages that you know can work in your favor, you just let those ride through and play it on. Now I've already simulated or played almost half the days. We're on day number 612, which would be in real time well over a year and a half. And you're just waiting for the times to come where you can come out and make aggressive trades every so often because, well, markets have all of these volatile moves. You don't get this in stock markets, at least not to any kind of this degree. And that's just how it is. But it is how it is with this. And if there's opportunities continuously, buy at 99, sell at 190, buy at 107, buy at 31. Oh, I got 120,000 DGB. Let's just unload like 60,000 of them. I had 1,100 Mona. Now I'm going to buy 1,900 more for over 3,000 of them. And now I can unload like 1,400 of them, and just let the market do what it needs to do. And that's that. And when you play this game of cryptos, you're playing coins where you hold your private key for. Well, I didn't buy that. That worked out even better, I guess. You hold your private keys. We're in stocks. What happens if something holds like their broker? That you're trusting your brokers gonna get the job done every time, and they will every time until they don't. Day 861 on this game. The coins have been up a lot. Again, the math works on this. And to say that the gains can be exceptional is an understatement. And you don't have to put up large amount of risk. For if you put up 100%, 80%, 90% of your bankroll to do this, you're just crazy. But if you put up 1%, a half a percent, $20, $50, I mean, what's the point of it that way? What's the least amount and most amount you could put together, if you understand what I'm trying to say there? Meaning, try to put the least amount you can, but to the maximum amount. It's hard to explain, I guess. But when you have spots like this, where you just let it do what it does, you hardly even have to check the computer, especially if you're playing this volatility. You find what volatility works for you, and if you don't want to make 500 or 1,000 trades a year, you only want to make 10 or 20 like this, then let it happen. And you just have to check every so often, and most times it's like, yep, nothing to do. And then you see the days where things do happen. And then like a day like this where it goes up 56% in one day. Day 980 will go again. Oh, 3 days later you're at it again because it did better than double. Okay, well that's almost half of what we got. And then the next day it goes up 163%. You're like, holy crap, this is amazing. But this is the volatility that's going to win. And when you've heard, holy shit, this is something else. When you hear about profit from volatility, these are the sort of things in which you're looking to do. And wow, I mean, now all of a sudden we got well over 1 million of those DGBs on day number 991. And it's going to be even higher now that the market goes up to the 620 ratio. It's going to be 1.5. And wow, it's just incredible the amount of results that you can get, especially with the compounded interest gain. Because when you're selling 15, 20%, 30%, 40%, and you got 6, 9, 10, 20 times more, then that becomes, those numbers can get so large that if I were to be able to do this for 4, 6, 8,000 days within this volatility, the results would just get so freakishly sick. But that's the whole point of this, is to be able to get these magnificent results and just let the mathematics work. You don't have to look at Bollinger Bands. You just have to know how to divide numbers. And again, in grade 6 math, being able to put 278.2 divided by 13.619 or something in a calculator. It's pretty easy to do. You don't have to do it in your head. Not even maybe. And then you just let the situations come into play and have fun with it. And that's all about the game, and it's all about how you play it. And I used to have over 1 million of those DGBs, and now I'd be down to over 500,000, but over 8,000 of those Mona coins. And well, here we have Mona just doubling again, so I could sell a 27.99 and get close to 1 million. But then it would go back down. 1252 is about 1,600 days. So this is almost done. And let's just finish this off. And there's volatility to the very end. Mona just recently had a huge kick-ass gain. So the ratio is gonna end going higher. But you don't need to predict. Oh, you got to be smart. You can't predict when highs and lows are in. Yeah, exactly. I don't give a shit. I don't want to predict it. Although I can do it for fun. I can try to maybe get more profits on it. But I just need to know that 75% higher than this is this. 20% on this is that. 15% of that is that. How to put coins on the blockchain. Those are the things I really need to know how to figure out how to do. And just let the mathematics play itself out. And I mean, wow, what a move. 36 to 90. You're like, oh, really? And this is the one that just recently happened. Okay, I got 19,000 of those. Let's just get rid of 9,500. Let's get rid of half of them and do better. I mean, go from 356, add 852. Those are like money shots. And this will probably end the game right now. I don't think there's going to be another play. But 1.2 million and 10,000. Okay, there's another play. Holy shit, 220. Wow. I thought that was the move that would just recently happen too. Well, I guess it's going to be more than 1.2 million now, won't it? Let's see. Yeah, let's go 47.50. Send it over. Let's add 1 million. Adding 1 million. We started off with like 50,000 of them, and now we're adding a million, doubling the portfolio almost. Just crazy. This now has to be the end. Yep. So 5,700 and 2.2 million. 5,700 on 100. That's a lot of a gain. That's 57 times. 400,000 would be 10x. 4 million would be 100x. So that's about 50, 45, 50x on your DGB. This shit is real as far as how amazing profits from this can be. So I get really confused to why people who are seriously wanting to invest into coins for the long-term time frame, to why they at least don't pick a super high number and work in this format. And of course, it's to me, if you want to talk about portfolio management, you got a block of 6, 7, 8 coins, and you find ways of doing them together. In fact, I'm going to talk about sports gambling as far as one of my, and I'm going to use I'm going to use Notepad for this. Because what I used to do was back in the days where sports books automatically wouldn't do round robins for you, is I would manually write up all the things like this ABC to find out every possible combination of three of, say, 7 events that I would like, and then I'd have every single one wagered. So if I like, say, the maybe A might be the Chicago Bears -3 at a football game, maybe B might be a game under the total, and I would just put bets together like this. Well, that type of thinking can be true if you like a bunch of different coins. For you could like 7 different ones. And we could see here that there would be 21 different combinations, inputting 2 of them together. And then, of course, in doing such like this, if, say, this coin and this coin, say these two don't do too well, say C and F do bad, well, those combinations may not work out as well for you, but maybe the D and E's do amazing. So everything, especially with, say, G, this one does good, and this one, these both do above average or something like that. But it's a way, of course, to get the most mathematical gain that you can. And then you don't like coins on exchanges, and well, neither do I. At least not too much. I like to have some on there for purposes of getting more trading, more volume, and more profit that way. But it's so easy to be able to move coins in and out of exchanges, and to let the numbers play as it is. Again, you say you have something worth 100. You got one video game that's, say you got the video games. One video game's worth 10 and another video game is worth 10. So they're worth the same price. Now, if all of a sudden everyone wants to buy this and this is worth 20 now, well, now I can sell this and get twice as many games. But if this goes to 15, it goes down for whatever reason, and this one starts to get in more demand and it moves to 15. Well, after selling 100 here, picking up 200 here, now with the 200 I can pick up 200, gain 100. Or I can take 150 of them, which means 50 more than what I purchased, get 150 more, that'd be 50 more than what I purchased. And then, of course, everything that I gain is just going to get compounded further. Because one of the things that was learned so many times for me in school was that of compounded interest, compounded math. And I think one of the reasons why I can remember so much about that was because up until that point, I'm trying to think in my head what grade I would have been in. I don't think it would have been grade 12, but it was either grade 11 or grade 12. And amongst it, it was trying to figure out how to work the formulas because I was having a difficult time within manually figuring out the formulas that was needed to amongst compound interest. And then I figured out how easy all of this stuff was on a calculator. And I was just flabbergasted about how easy it is. And now I'm saying this, I'm getting all my college memories in my head from entry level college. So it would have been college. It would have been 1995. I would have been 19 years old. And being able to go through all of this math, and maybe I did it before in grade 12 or grade 13 math as well in high school. And I did it again because this compounded math is something I did several years over through different classes and different teachers. And I ended up doing really well on it, but that's because the calculator for the formulas I needed could do it. And I understand just the mathematics upon it, especially with an accounting background. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.